what to say. How would you introduce yourself to strangers? So, I mean, we have a lot of different ways that we're going to make videos. We might have one on our welcome page. We might have one on Instagram, Facebook. We might be doing projects, courses. So what you're going to say is going to be different for each one. But I always want you to think about, you are talking to somebody. I am talking to you right now, and I'm asking you questions. I'm telling you things. But really what I want to be doing is engaging you. And we're going to be talking a lot more about this in the live session and doing some exercises that will support you with finding the right language for your clients. But really, my tips are to be really present, to be excited and alive. I've also been told that it really helps sometimes people to stand up when they're giving videos, because it gives a different kind of energy than when you're sat down. You're also going to think about, what is professional? So what are you trying to convey to your client, and what do you want your client to experience when they talk to you? You might also use a teleprompter. So this is really cool because there's actually so many apps right now that you can put on your iPad and your phones, and that will actually allow you to read. So if you are doing a longer spiel, for example, for your welcome page or for a course, you might want to be reading. And so I just put an example there of how it looks. And so there are lots of different apps for you to investigate that are really not expensive at all. Some even have your face in it, so you can see the words and you can also see your image. So, but it's also just remembering to be careful where you put the teleprompter, because your eyes could be looking up there. You really want it to be as close to the camera as you can. So you might do that by having an extra tripod, finding a way to prop it up, whatever's going to work for you. So filming, I often film on multiple devices so I can edit them together afterwards, and it looks professional, especially if I'm doing an art demo for a course. So you can see this is like 2 or 3 images that I kind of worked on at the same time and had the camera at different angles at different points in the filming. So the one just here, I had a film showing how I was making the art, a camera showing how I was making the art, but also one directed at my face. And the one directed at my face, that's where I had the microphone plugged in. So then I could alternate between the two, which was really, really helpful for helping people know how to create and what I was creating. And this is from images from a course that I have called the Heart Call. And so, yeah, and then later I had shown more from a distance, and I was painting on the canvas directly. And then I also had another camera pointing at my face, so I could alternate between the two. And it looks really professional, but it's so simple to do. You literally just press record at the same time and then pull both streams together using, you could use iPhoto, you could use, I'm a huge fan of Google Photos, so just downloading both of the videos on there and then dropping them into the editor program of your choice, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. So the basics. Just move me over there. So I wanted to give 2 screens that you might be looking at. So these are both just taking a picture. This is on a phone, and I just wanted to talk about some of the features for those of you who aren't so clear. So this is the record button. On my phone, I have to scroll down and make sure that I've pressed video. I can also have like a closer lens and a wider lens. And so this is what I would press to start recording. This allows different filters if I press it. This changes the ratio, which you might want to just make a square video, especially if you're doing something for Instagram. This has the flash option, and then this is settings. So you just press this, and then you press this button again to stop recording. Then this is on the iPad and the view that you would have. So as you can see this, when you scroll it onto video, which is just here, it comes up with a red button. The screen will shrink slightly, and you also, when you start recording, it will give you a time count. So I also wanted to show with you just a general setup. I just made this little sketch for you So I want you to think about these things. You want to find a suitable background. You might be in nature. You don't have to be against a wall, but as long as it's something that speaks to your client, that is like either evoking something that's very important to them, or it's a neutral. And a lot of the times I do use neutral backgrounds because I find that it's great for people to be able to project whatever they want. But I also do tailor my videos based on projects and who I'm aiming for in terms of my clients. So some people have told me that, again, standing up gives a kind of more vibrant approach, but that's not necessarily true. It really depends on actually what you're most comfortable with. And that's the thing, what is going to make you relaxed? You want to be wearing a mic, and I've recommended this lapel mic that just clips on. I have one that has an extra long cord and just plugs into the headphones jack of my phone or my iPad. And as you can see here, I've got a tripod. On here I put it on a chair, but you can use a desk. You might even sit. Quite often I've made videos just sitting down with my tripod on a chair in front of me, and then just maneuvering it around to see where I can get the best light. You really want to be wearing professional clothing and have a professional appearance. Again, this gives a very strong message to our clients. So you're going to think about, as if you were going into a session with the clients, what are you going to wear? How do you want to present yourself? You're going to also think about this light source, the window, a happy light, or light ring. The light rings actually go around your device, so that can be really, really useful because you're looking at it and then you don't have a shadow anywhere. But again, you might use natural light, you might be outside. So another thing I wanted to touch on, which follows on from last week, is, let me move to somewhere that I'm not going to be in the way. So Facebook or Insta Lives versus links. So I just wanted to bring your attention to this, and I'm going to bring myself back up. So what happens in Instagram and Facebook is if you put a link in, it's a little different than if you just go by putting the actual video in Facebook. So the best way to get views is to upload directly into the platform. So you would make the video, you'd save it maybe onto your desktop or into your camera stream on your phone or on your iPad. And then you would just go into Facebook and you would say, upload a video, and you might write some words to go with it on top. I always find it's really good to do both. And the interesting thing that researchers have found is that it gets 6 times more views than links. So if you go in and you put a link to a YouTube, it's not probably going to get as many views as putting it directly into Facebook or Instagram. Also, the other thing is that live videos are more likely to be shared in feeds. So if you do a Facebook Live or an Instagram, I don't know what they call it, I think it's a live story, it's more likely to be shared. And I'm going to talk about the Facebook Lives in a minute. And so links, the one reason that you would use links is from YouTube or Vimeo, is that it can be really useful when file sizes are really big. So when I have the recordings after our live sessions, I put them into YouTube or Vimeo to upload onto my website and make sure they're unlisted and private so no one else can see them. And I do that because the files are too big to be uploaded directly onto my website. So it can be a really useful tool. So I just wanted to go over Facebook Lives with you because they are super useful if you have a group. And so these are some ideas of the type of broadcast you can try. You can do face-to-face, kind of like I'm doing now. Like, let's pretend there wasn't anything else and there was just me talking to you. That would be a face-to-face. You can do it behind the scenes, like if you're getting ready for a project or you're in your studio and you want to kind of give a little bit more insight. People love that. You also might want to do an art project demo. You might want to do a virtual open studio. We talked about that a little bit last week, and we're going to be talking about that more in a few weeks' time. You might want to film a conference or event. Like there might be something going on that you have permission to do a Facebook Live from, which can be really useful for a lot of different people. You might do a Q&A. You might do an interview, like that can be really, really cool, to interview someone who has the same interests as you, or has similar clients to you, or has an interesting viewpoint that you want to bring to people who are in your Facebook group. And you might want to do competitions. I'm not such a huge fan of that, but it can be really cool if you want to do that for a course in a place in a course, or just to really kind of spread your social media message. So the technology you need are a camera on your device, audio, background and lighting. So you need to think about these as well. And you need to have preparation and notes. And so remember to promote that you're going to go live 3 to 5 days before, and share also relevant info. So when you're speaking, you can also talk about whatever you're working on right now. So for example, I could be talking to you and I could say, oh, and don't forget that I am offering a new course. I'm not offering a new course, but we can say that I'm offering a course. So registration is going to be opening next week, and I'm really excited to share it with you. So that can be really, really useful. So I have a few notes up here that I just want to read to you. So think about how it aligns to your audience, how you can support them, share your expertise and skills. So you might want to poll your group beforehand to ask what they want most and address that topic. And you might want to create 2 to 6 points to talk about that. And so making it brief, but really, really informative. And so things to remember are that people can join your live at any time. So they're not necessarily going to see the start. So you might want to introduce them if people come in, but also remember this is going to be recorded. So you don't want to keep doing it. But acknowledging is really great. So your audience might not know anything about you. So you might want to recap. Pay attention as well to comments. People are going to be sending comments to you. And so you might want to read them out. You might want to answer questions that people are having. And you want to maximize engagement as well. So you really want to be interacting with people, building relationship, answering questions. And then to finish, you're going to hit the stop broadcast and you're going to post it and download it. So we can talk in the live session if you have any more questions around this and Facebook Lives. And I'd love to hear as well if you've had positive experiences. So editing, and I am going to go into this a lot more in our live session, but I wanted to give you 3 levels basically of editing that I find really useful. So basic editing can be done with your phone. So this is where you can trim. So when people press the button to start recording or end it, we can actually trim that off. So it just is us saying, welcome to this video. My name's Kate Leopard. I'm an art therapist. Our project is da 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 da. So you can do it in that way. So you don't need to add anything fancy, and then you can just upload your content almost instantly. The second level of editing is adding titles and music. So often when I do a video, I will put a title that says Kate Leopard, art therapist, and maybe my website. So then people are really able to refer and they understand who I am, and it makes it really clear. Sometimes I also like to add an intro page, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. And I like to have a piece of music that just brings people in as an intro. And I generally like to use the same music because that really helps people create an idea of who I am. And also when they hear it, they're kind of reminded of me. Then the third level of editing, I encourage you to experiment and do YouTube tutorials to support your learning on the platform you choose. So I use iMovie because I have a Mac, but there are lots of different ones that you can also try. There's lots of Windows editors, and I'm going to try and create a list and hopefully ask people who are using Windows already what they are using for extra support. I also used to love Filmora by Wondershare, but I think the prices have gone up for that right now. So I'm not sure if that's a great one to recommend, but hopefully we can have a discussion in the live session and also in the Facebook group. So I just mentioned this, and I like to, for when I do my projects and the videos I have every month in my Facebook group Heartspace. So this is some of them. And so I create these on Procreate, which is an app you can get on iPads, but I also love to use Canva. And so it just gives this extra layer of like professional and gets people to know what the projects are before I start talking about them. And so it's really easy to do. So every time I just say Heartspace Presents and then the title of the project, and then I go in to just an introduction. I name who I am, I say where the theme has come from, I explain a little bit about it and the intention. Then I usually have either instructions, for example, if it's a project like Finding Your Treasure, I showed people how to make these little match box treasure boxes, or I also showed some images of me creating the painting, and accordion books, but sometimes I just have a theme. So I might talk about the theme and show some suggestive images. And if you want to find out more, you can go on my Facebook group, Heartspace, and actually watch some of these videos to get an idea about how it works. So here are my closing tips for this week. Introduce yourself. People might not know who you are, and it's always really, really good to just give them that little like assurance that you are a qualified art therapist, and to also give your website, which gives you credibility, but also that they can go and check out after because they're like, wow, she's amazing. I want to know more information. So talk directly to the client, be well lit and clear, wear a mic. So it's super important because that gives a really good sound quality. So also be authentic, be yourself and be relaxed. Like you want it to be kind of like you're having a conversation, and also the way you are with your clients, you want it to just be like, you're the person creating that container, dropping the anxiety levels and just really getting to the essence of what that client needs. And also share your passion. Like, don't be afraid to get excited, to share who you are, to just really be enthusiastic about what you're bringing.